Today we're going to start talking about compound inequalities. We talked about inequalities the last 2 days. We're going to do compound inequalities for 3 days. Friday we're not taking a quiz this time because you need time to work on some of this work. Okay, so you have this foldable, or you're writing it down because you don't have a printer. That's fine. Take it and fold it so that the words compound inequalities are at the bottom here. Grab a pair of scissors. I'm going to cut straight up. So compound inequalities, we have some that involve and some that involve or. Okay? A compound inequality, literally, we've got an inequality. Remember, an inequality is greater, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. It's any inequality where we're putting something together. Okay, so we're going to talk about and compound inequalities first. Example 1. All real numbers that are greater than -3 and less than 2. Okay, so we're going to think about this. What it wants us to do is graph this by thinking about this. So let's think. All real numbers that are greater than -3. I'm going to circle -3. Let's think about what's greater than -3. I think it's all the values over here are greater than -3. Okay, we could keep going. All right, but let's talk about the second part here. And less than 2. Well, here's 2. What numbers are less than 2? Well, these over here. There's our compound inequality. We could write this as greater than -3. Notice it's not or equal to. And less than 2. Okay. You will often see that written in a compound inequality as x is less than 2, less than -3. Because if I read it this way, it's x is greater than -3. Okay? All right, you have one that says you try, so I want you to try this one. That means pause the video, but I'm going to keep going. So pause the video, do the you or try example. Okay? Greater than or equal to -1. Greater than or equal to -1. So circle -1, close it because it's or equal to, and it's everything greater than that. Okay? And less than 4. X is less than 4. So open, there's no or equal to, and shade. So it's everything between here. We're going to write this one as well by taking x is greater than or equal to -1. No, we're not. I did it backwards. That's okay. It's easier sometimes if we look at the graph to do this. I've got -1 and I've got 4 and I've got x right here. So x, -1 is less than or equal to x. So x is greater than or equal to -1. And then x is less than 4. So there's how I would write this. Okay. Now we're going to solve them. So example 3 says solve the graph and solve and graph the compound inequality. Actually, before we get here, let's see or in this like this up here. So open up or. I'm going to do example 2. Okay. We're going to read the same way. All real numbers that are less than 0. X is less than 0. So circle 0. We're going to shade the numbers that are less than 0. Or greater than or equal to 5. X is greater than or equal to 5. I want you to notice something. Or equal to, shade it in. Let me finish graphing before I say I want you to notice something. And shade, that's greater, that's less. And connects or points in opposite directions. There are very special cases where it doesn't, but pretty much all the time. And connects or goes in opposite directions. So I literally just write this as x is less than 0 or x is greater than or equal to 5. I just write or. It's not like and where I have to put it in the combination. we just write or between them. This one says you try, so I want you to pause the video and try it. All real numbers that are less than or equal to -2. X is less than or equal to -2. -2, shaded in, less than or equal to, so less than is this way. Okay, greater than or equal to 2. X is greater than or equal to 2. Shaded in is or equal to, shade to the right. Okay. They point in opposite directions. I'm going to just bring them down. X is less than or equal to -2, or X is greater than or equal to +2. Okay. All right, so there's how you graph compound inequalities. That's how you read from a sentence and graph them. Let's actually solve them now. We're going to have some examples of solving. We're going to solve the and ones first, so I'm going to close this again just to not be distracted. We're going to do example 3, and then you're going to try the next one yourself. To solve a compound inequality, it's very similar to solving a regular inequality. If you ever have a problem knowing how to solve it, cover up this left side here. Now it looks like a regular inequality. X minus 5 is less than or equal to -2, okay? So to move or to solve, I need to get everything that's in this middle right here away from X. So I'm going to add 5. Before I added 5 to both sides. Well, I have a third side now, so I have to add it to all 3, okay? I'm going to bring down X and the symbols, and then I'm going to add -8 plus 5 is -3. -2 plus 5 is +3. Now I'm going to graph. Just like we did up here, notice how this is circle on -1, circle on 4, and shade in between. We're going to do the same thing here. Circle -3, circle +3, open circle, close circle. So I need to close this one, and shade in between. Okay. I want you to try the one that says you try. If you have a problem, cover this up and see if you know how to solve it now. So pause it and start solving. So if I cover this up, I need to subtract 4 first. But remember, I have to do it from all 3 sides. 6 less than or equal to 2x less than or equal to 20. Okay, if you need to cover it up again. Divide by 2, all 3 sides. 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 10. Circle 3, closed. Circle 10, closed, because of the or equal to, and shade in between. Anytime you see the words between or and, it's talking about an and compound inequality. If you see the word or, it's probably talking about or. We're going to solve some or compound inequalities. Or compound inequalities are just like having 2 problems at the same time. So we don't have to worry about having 3 sides anymore. We just worry about solving this one and then solving this one. Easy to remember, but more work. All right, so we're going to solve this inequality first. So I'm going to subtract 3. 2x is less than 6. Divide by 2. X is less than 3. Or, I'll solve this one. Add 6. -3x is less than -18. Remember that whole, I sometimes make math mistakes. If I do, let me know. All right, divide by -3. I'm dividing by negative. So flip the symbol. If you did not flip the symbol, these ors would not be pointing in opposite directions. Sometimes that happens, but very, very rarely. All right, so let's graph. X is less than 3. Circle 3, shade to the left because it's less than. Or X is greater than 6. Circle 6, shade to the right because it's greater. They point in opposite directions. Good. Okay, I want you to work on the U try. Solve this one, then solve this one, and then graph both. So pause the video. I'm going to do it now myself. Okay, subtract 1. 4x is less than or equal to negative 4. Divide by 4. X is less than or equal to negative 1. Or solve the second one. Add 3. 5x is greater than 20. Divide by 5. X is greater than 4. Circle negative 1 and shade it in. And graph to the left. Circle positive 4. Don't shade it in. There's no or equal to. And shade to the right. Okay. All right. We are going to keep talking about compound inequalities for the next 3 days. I say 3 days. You will have a lesson tomorrow, and on Friday it's going to be a work day. You're going to work on all the things that you may or may not have finished. Once you have this finished, open your notebook to page 18. Label page 18, 2.5, Compound Inequalities. That's the title for 18 and 19. And I like to label my pages all at the same time, but you get to choose. All right, then glue this in, yes, sideways. Seems like everything is sideways these days. Okay, and then work on whatever homework has been posted or been given to you. And I will see you tomorrow. See you later.